Hi everyone, this is Wendelin van Eerde, and I'm going to present the two studies that I wrote together with Annemieke Bulters and Oudmaijer, two of my master students, on visionary leadership, future temporal focus, and how it may affect uncertainty and stress. The future is very uncertain. We don't know what kind of things will change, and especially at work, technology will force us to have different kinds of jobs. So that's what this study is about. The future can cause some uncertainty, and according to this theory, we distinguish three types that have to do with work. First, uncertainty about your company, so in what direction it's going to go, and is the structure going to change, for example. The other two have to do with the job. So are you really going to have your job, or perhaps is it going to change? So there we make a distinction between job insecurity in general and the other one about job change insecurity. So some of the things that you like in your job may disappear. The outcome that we researched was stress, and you've all heard of stress, I'm sure. And we know about the relationship between uncertainty and stress. What we're going to investigate is whether you can influence the uncertainty by getting certain information. So is the information reduced by particular kind of information about the future, either from your leader or from yourself? So the two things that we're going to research have to do with visionary leadership, future temporal focus on and the effect of those two factors on stress and insecurity. So what is visionary leadership? It is a part of charismatic leadership that talks about whether a person has a vision of what the future is going to be like, and can this particular leader also communicate that to the employees. So the first hypothesis that we're going to test is whether visionary leadership and stress are negatively related. And then we're also going to find out whether that is mediated by the reduction of uncertainty. Second, future temporal focus may also help to reduce uncertainty because your own vision may be helpful in this. So the extent to which people think about the future may be called future temporal focus. And because this is the time perspective conference, I just want to distinguish between future temporal focus and future temporal perspective, because the measurement is quite different, and focus means that it's more cognitive. So are you aware of the future, and do you think in those terms, but not necessarily are you involved effectively. So it's really not about emotions. Here we have the similar hypothesis, so the negative relation with stress and the mediation through uncertainty. So this is the model with the two factors and the three types of uncertainty that may affect stress. The method that we followed was a survey, and we have two samples, one from an energy holding company in the Netherlands and the other one in the Dutch division of a lift company. Somewhat different jobs. So in the first, it's mainly about administrative jobs, and in the second one, more about technical jobs. These are the variables. And as you can see, we found that the scales that we used were reliable. So I have the references in the back if you want to know how to measure these constructs. We first did a simple correlation, and then we proceeded to test the mediation in SPSS. Okay, so for sample 1, the simple correlations, you can see visionary leadership's negatively related to stress, but future focus isn't. In terms of the mediation, you can see that visionary leadership is indeed related to stress through job insecurity and job change insecurity, but not so much through the effect of strategic uncertainty. When we look at future focus, we do not find that there is an indirect effect, although we find some effects. Interestingly, the effect between future focused and strategic uncertainty is positive. These two mediations, the other one through job change insecurity, sort of cancel each other out, and so we do not find a total indirect effect. Okay, moving to the second sample, we did the same analysis. Again, the visionary leadership is negatively related to stress, but not the future focus. Again, we see the indirect effect for visionary leadership on stress. This time, the effect goes through strategic uncertainty and job insecurity. When we do this test for future focus, we do not find a significant effect similar to the effects we found in sample 1. So overall, we see that future temporal focus and stress are unrelated in these two samples. We do see that visionary leadership and stress are related. In previous studies, usually you find future focus and stress related, so this is different. In the indirect effects, we see a little bit of difference between the samples, but we do find this indirect effect for visionary leadership. Conclusion overall, trust in the leader's vision may be more important than your own future focus, and future focus may even imply that you are more aware of the future, and when we see the strategic change, for example, it actually increased uncertainty. So overall, we think that we contributed something by measuring the future focus and focusing on the cognitive side of this. So it's not the emotional side of the future. When we repeated our analyses in different samples, we found very similar results. So this gives us some confidence that we found something that can be found more generally. Of course, there's also some limitation. We only have one measurement, and maybe the direction of the effect is actually reversed. So if you're stressed, you may see the world a little differently, and maybe that also involves how you view your leader. So that can only be ruled out in a different type of design, and also a different type of analysis would be good, and we're actually working on that to do this study with using multi-level analysis where we group the departments as a second level in our analysis. Thank you for your attention, and if anyone wants to contact me, please do so. We can discuss it. Here are some of the references, and thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.